In the frost-bitten dawn of November 2025, the Russian northern fronts in Kursk Oblast teetered on the edge of collapse. The destruction of Tata Bridge 2 weeks prior had been a thunderclap that echoed through Moscow's war rooms. What was once a vital artery, connecting Klayovo, Zinka, and Star to the besieged garrisons in Sudza, now lay as twisted steel skeletons submerged in the icy Seam River. Ukrainian forces, emboldened by the 58th Brigade's audacious strike, smelled blood. Intelligence intercepts painted a grim picture for the Russians. Fuel reserves dwindling, artillery shells rationed to a trickle, and morale fracturing like the concrete pillars of that doomed bridge. Colonel Olena Kovalenko, commander of the 58th Mechanized Brigade, known in whispers as the Ghosts of Donbass, paced the dimly lit bunker in Cherniv Oblast. Her team had turned a single fiber optic FPV drone into a bridge buster, severing Russia's logistical spine. But one bridge was a pinprick. The Kursk front demanded a cascade. Satellite feeds and drone reconnaissance revealed the enemy's desperate rerouting. 3 critical bridges now bore the burden of weekly mega convoys. Bridge Alpha over the Syol River, Bridge Beta spanning the Snagost, and Bridge Gamma, the monstrous railroad hybrid across the Oskol. Destroy them in sequence, and the Russian First Guards tank army would starve. Operation Cascade, Olena declared to her war council, her voice steady as the hum of servers. We hit all 3 in 48 hours. Mines for the pillars, drones for the triggers, artillery for the cleanup. No kamikaze wastes. Precision. Like surgeons. Her engineers, led by Captain Mykola Fiber Petrovich, nodded. Mykola's innovation, the Odin 20 swarm drone, upgraded with 2 Gbps fiber optic tethers, had rendered Russian RB341V Lear 3 jammers obsolete. Thin as spider silk, the cables unspooled from ground stations, immune to electronic warfare. We'll plant TM62 mirror mines tonight, Mykola said, unfurling blueprints on a holographic table. 25 per bridge, chained with 600 lbs of TNT. 1 drone swarm per site, coordinated via quantum-encrypted mesh. The plan was asymmetric genius. Ukrainian infantry would infiltrate under drone cover, plant the traps, then retreat. When convoys rolled, massive fleets of 50-plus vehicles each, the drones would dive, slam into the mines, and unleash hell. Supporting howitzers from the 26th Artillery Brigade would rain Excalibur rounds on survivors. As night fell, teams deployed. The air crackled with tension. Russian Mi-28 helicopters patrolled, but Ukrainian Stugna P operators lurked in the reeds, ready to swat them. Sergeant Anya Shadow Lysenko led the Alpha team toward Bridge Alpha, a 500-meter steel behemoth guarding the Syol's churning waters. Cloaked in thermal masking Gila suits, her 6 engineers slipped through minefields, guided by a low-flying Perun recon drone. Thermal bloom at 200 meters. Russian patrol, whispered the drone operator from 15 miles away. Anya signaled halt. Heart pounding, she watched 2 BTR-90s rumble past, their 30mm cannons scanning the darkness. The convoy's advance guard. Russia was paranoid now, doubling escorts after Tata. Go, Anya hissed. They dove into the river, scuba gear bubbling softly. Currents tugged at their packs. 25 TM62 men and mines, each 22 lbs of Soviet-era Fury with 18 LABs of TNT. Designed to gut tanks, they'd shred bridge supports like paper. Climbing the pillars was agony. Icy water numbing fingers, steel slick with frost. Mykola's voice crackled in earpieces. Fiber link stable, jammers active, but we're ghosts. One by one, mines clamped to beams. Detonators wired in daisy chains, pressure-sensitive backups. If remote fails, weight alone triggers on overload, an engineer explained. By 0300 hours, done. They exfiltrated, leaving no trace but faint infrared ghosts on Russian sensors, dismissed as anomalies. Simultaneously, Beta and Gamma teams mirrored the dance. Beta's Snagost Bridge was narrower, defended by S-400 radars. Gamma's Oskal monster carried rail lines, dual threat. Back at command, Obliterated monitored feeds. Convoys inbound. Alpha 0400, Beta 0600, Gamma 0800, staggered for maximum chaos. Intelligence was gold. Hacked Russian comms revealed panic. Tata was no fluke, a general barked. Triple escorts, Lear 3 on full blast. But Ukraine had evolved. At Oro 350, the Alpha convoy roared into view. Thermal cameras on Odin 20 drones painted a hellish portrait. 52 vehicles. 20 Kamaz fuel trucks, glowing like lanterns at 250°C exhausts. 15 Ural ammo haulers crammed with 152mm shells, Grad rockets, and TOS-1 thermobaric warheads. 10 BTR-82As, armored beasts with 100mm guns. 5 T-90 tanks as escorts. 2 mobile hospitals masking the carnage. A Lear 3 jammer truck led, antennas whirring at 2.4, 5.8 GHz. Range 5 miles, Mikola reported. Fiber unspooling, 1.2 kilometers deployed. The swarm launched. 5 Odin 20s hovering at 800 feet, tethered invisibly. Russian radars screamed warnings, but jammers fizzled against optic purity. Convoy hit the bridge at 0400. Diesel thunder shattered the night. Lead T-90 crossed midpoint. Perfect. Detonate remote, Olena ordered. Click. Nothing. Jamming evolved. Russia had adapted, pulsing EMP bursts. Manual trigger, swarm dive! Drones plunged. One skimmed the river, pulling up into the underbelly. Camera feed shook, mines glinting, strapped like venomous jewels. Impact. Boom. 600 LEBs TNT ignited. Shockwave vaporized pillars. Bridge buckled, steel screaming as 1,000 tons plummeted. Fuel trucks erupted. Diesel infernos at 5,000 degree melting asphalt. Ammo cooked off. 152mm shells arcing like meteors, exploding midair in shrapnel storms. T-90s flipped into the sile, crews drowning in flames. BTRs crushed under debris. Soldiers leaped only to be incinerated. Secondary blasts chained, TOS-1 rockets detonating, turning the valley into a napalm sea. From afar, 26th Artillery unleashed. Excalibur GPS-guided shells hammered survivors. Target destroyed, a spotter radioed. Black plume rose 500 meters. Alpha severed. Russian HQ erupted in chaos. Bridge down! Reroute to Beta! Word of Alpha's fall spread like wildfire. Russian commanders scrambled, diverting the Beta convoy, now swollen to 70 vehicles, with air cover. Su-25 jets circling. Olena smiled grimly. They walk into our web. Beta team, under Lieutenant Victor Hammer Bodon, had planted deeper, mines on load-bearing trusses plus C4 backups. At 0550, convoy approached Snagost Bridge. Narrower span meant bottleneck, perfect kill zone. Thermal signatures, 25 fuel tankers, 20 ammo trucks, now with Cornet ATGMs, 15 BMP-3 infantry fighters, 3 Panzer AA systems, Lear 3 upgraded, plus a Poly.